Recently, the Conservative Baptist Network has issued a statement, which you'll see in the description of this video if you look down, about the resignation of the Southern Baptist Convention President Ed Litton, calling upon him to do so. Part of the reasoning for that is the blatant plagiarism that he has been discovered doing, but also because of the unrepentance. They've gone to him in private. He's been called out, even though he has stated that as anonymous sources. He's been called out by Reformation Charlotte. He's been called out by Justin Peters and other well-known individuals. Now we see that the mainstream media is picking up on this story, and what will happen is it will cast a shadow upon the Southern Baptists. And so I encourage you as believers, especially if you're a member of the Southern Baptist Convention, to be in prayer for our convention, because you can only imagine that the devil loves nothing more to see God's people in conflict and battle over secret sins that are now being exposed. One thing that really shocked me in watching all the different videos is where Ed Litton actually not only is using the points or the sermon notes from J.D. Greer out of Raleigh. What Ed Litton does is he tells an event that took place in his life, and it's identical to the event that J.D. Greer tells about something that happened to him. Now, I would say this, that either Ed Litton is confused about this event taking place and what it is about driver's ed in his school when he was going to high school, or Ed Litton is actually misleading his congregation. Now, being truthful is so important because the Father of truth is Jesus Christ. I encourage you to be in prayer for the Southern Baptist Convention during this time of crisis.
Jen Wilkin, who's one of our favorite Bible teachers here and who's actually leading our women's conference, she said we ought to whisper about what the Bible whispers about, and we ought to shout about what it shouts about. And the Bible appears more to whisper when it comes to sexual sin compared to its shouts about materialism and religious pride.
In the Bible, sexual sin is whispered compared to the shout God makes about greed and judgmentalism.
Here's the third way that we go wrong. Number 3, assuming it's hard for LGBTQ people to get to heaven.
Thirdly, we go wrong thinking LGBT people can't go to heaven.
Homosexuality does not send you to hell. You know how I know that? Because heterosexuality does not send you to heaven.
Homosexuality does not send people to hell. How do I know that? Because heterosexuality doesn't send people to heaven.